And welcome to another episode of Preparing for the Unexpected. I'm your host, Alex Fullick, and as always, I like to talk about things related to disaster recovery, business continuity, emergency management, COVID, your well-being, anything that helps you, your organization, or your community prepare for and respond to through adverse situations. Today, I'd like to talk about some things that I've noticed over the last few years. And that has to do with the expanding scope of business continuity management. If you read periodicals, look at different websites, attend conferences, you will see a myriad of topics, business continuity and this, business continuity and that. Here's just a small list: cybersecurity, information or data security, personal well-being, health and safety, mental health in general, HR practices, emergency management, disaster management. We just can't do all of that. And don't forget, of course, the proverbial one that started it all, technology recovery. We can't know all of that. That's impossible. No one can know everything. And yet, for some reason, you can read periodicals, websites, attend conferences, read blogs, webinars, information sessions, articles on LinkedIn, anything. Business continuity people need to know all of this. They need to understand that. They need to understand this industry. Well, take cybersecurity and information security. That's an industry unto itself. My last full-time role before I became self-employed, and eventually started doing radio shows and YouTube channels, I worked in the security and business continuity group. The security part of the group, they had their own certifications, their own conferences, their own industry periodicals, their own ways of monitoring, maintaining, and responding to different situations, with different plans. They had their own stuff. All I needed to do was know when I needed to just get involved. When there's someone trying to a denial of service, let's say, the security team is responding. Well, what's business continuity going to do? What am I going to do with that? Nothing until there's an actual impact. I don't need to get involved, push people out of the way. Okay, I'm in charge. I'm business continuity. I'm on the crisis management team, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't know that. You don't need to do that. You don't know everything about the cybersecurity world, and you just need to know the part where you hook in and need to insert yourself to work with business units, or any unit really for that matter, on what they need to do to address the situation if they're being impacted. Sometimes there was no impact, so I didn't need to get involved. So why do I need to take all these courses, get these certifications? Sure, it looks great on the resume. I know a lot of stuff, but I'm also confusing my speciality, on where I'm focusing. I'm, becoming a jack of all trades, but proficient in none. Well-being. I'm not a psychologist. Mental health. Business continuity people are not psychologists or sociologists, any of that industry. So why do I need to get involved? Why do I need to understand all of that? There are people who go to school, they get degrees, for many, many years to understand mental health and, how to address these situations. I don't need to know all of that, get all that training by taking a webinar. That's not going to do it for me, and that's not going to help me. What I need to understand, and Lord forbid anything does happen, if there's workplace workplace violence or something along those lines that impacts the business and what we're doing, then I have to get involved. Then I have to know, who to turn to, what to implement, who to notify, what processes we need to have in place, if any. Some of them could all be HR related, depending on the situation. Worst case situations, we may have to, make arrangements, for people to stay at home, not come to the office, those kind of things, and when we look at our continuity plans. But to understand the end-to-end spectrum of mental health, no. I could barely scratch the surface by taking a webinar. So why do I have to become a specialist? Why do I have to become certified and all of that? Expanding the scope of business continuity management does not make us better. It convolutes our message. If you're looking at some of the postings now for roles, you're seeing business continuity as an afterthought. Looking for a disaster recovery and business continuity. Emergency management professional with a bit of business continuity. Information security with an understanding of business continuity. We're an afterthought. Why are we becoming an afterthought? Is it because we're convoluting our message and we're straying from what we actually need to focus on? Think about it. You can't be everything to everybody. And when you are, that's when you start making mistakes. And then people turn away from you and don't trust what you're doing. You have no value anymore. You're trying to be everything and accomplishing nothing. So I'm not a big fan of all of this. Business continuity management personnel have to understand every single thing there is in the world, especially when it comes to any sort of mental health, COVID. Some of us now, we have to all of a sudden become almost doctors, and understand everything. Well, no, that's not for me. I have to understand the impact. Where do I kick into this, situation? Where do I need to step in and pull out plans or do what needs to get done? But managing all these situations, no, that can't be done. I remember practice number 9, I think it was 9 or 10, where it was working with first responders or public authorities, civil authorities. And okay, that's fine. Every fireman I talk to, every police officer I talk to, they insurance people, anybody outside of my organization, they all told me, we'll tell you what you have to do based on the situation, where, if you're going back in the building, and when it came to that, it was the facilities person who talked to them, not me. They got the direction from the person in charge of the facility or the property manager, because that's who the first responders wanted to talk to, because they knew the business, right? The building, the premises, everything about it. I didn't get hugely involved with that, but I was a part of that communication chain. That's as far as it needed to go. And then based on the communication I needed, I knew what I needed to implement and act. However, I did not become the main focal point for, the fire chief or the fire marshal, the business continuity person. She doesn't care what your business is going to do to keep their business going. They're going to tell you what the situation is and what you need to do. I need to be able to get that message in the quickest way possible to then implement what I need to. But I didn't have to become, a specialist in that area to know that. Too many people now are saying that. I don't know why. We can't be everything to everybody, as I've said before. So think about it. We need to think and reevaluate our value, where we're going and what we're doing. We cannot be everything to everybody, or we'll be nothing to nobody. We'll destroy our own value. If you liked that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave a message and let me know what your thoughts are. If you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about something related to business continuity, disaster management, COVID, personal well-being, anything that's relatable to those subjects, you can reach me through my LinkedIn profile, which is in the video description. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.